What's up? This is Jeff from TTA Trigger Trainer Academy. I'm a firearms instructor here in Orlando, Florida. Thank you if you are currently watching this. We're about to go through this is part 2 of the Florida Concealed Weapons License class. I do offer this course in person here, and you will have to book the course in person if you want the actual Florida Concealed Weapons License. If not, this is just a reminder for you so you can relearn the laws and reference them at a later time. If you've already taken the class with me, thank you. And if not, I hope to see you in a future class. The links to all of that and my calendar will be down below. So I'm gonna keep going with the more meaty side of it, which is talking about deadly force, stand your ground, and all that good stuff. So deadly force in Florida is the force that is defined to cause death or great bodily harm. Discharging a firearm is considered deadly force in the state of Florida. So on my TikTok, I would always get questions about, I don't want to shoot somebody. Couldn't I just, shoot a warning shot or shoot in the air to scare them? A couple reasons why this is actually a terrible idea. One, a bullet that goes up must come down. And just because it didn't go up at the speed that you shot it at doesn't mean it won't come down and still pierce somebody's skin or kill them. Also, pulling the trigger in the state of Florida is considered deadly force. So just because you pointed it at the air and you didn't kill a person doesn't mean you're not going to do time. You have to be very specific in understanding how the laws work and knowing what protects you. You are more protected under the law pointing that firearm at the person and missing, as opposed to pointing it straight in the air and just pulling the trigger. One, if you felt your life is not in danger to the point where deadly force is necessary, if you feel like you can point the firearm in the air to control the situation. If you feel like you can gain control of a situation, you shouldn't have to pull your firearm. You should just use whatever technique you have to gain control of the situation. But if you feel like your life is in danger, you need to take that firearm, point it at whatever is endangering your life, and, for lack of better words, take that life to protect yours. If that is the case. If that's not the case, you should never pull a firearm out. Because the exact opposite of what you think. If you think pulling it out is going to control the situation, the exact opposite is going to happen. Everybody's about to flip the fuck out, and you might get shot. Because if you pull it out and you don't, use it to defend life, somebody's going to think that you're endangering life. And now that's a green light to attack you, and they will get away with it by Florida law because you have a gun. Forcible felonies that typically justify using deadly force in the state of Florida. So, murder, manslaughter, kidnapping, sexual battery, aggravated assault, robbery, carjacking, aggravated battery, home invasion, robbery, aggravated stalking. So, in Florida, you're allowed to always protect life. Anytime you see these happening, if you see these forcible felonies happening, typically life is in danger, and you are justified in protecting it with deadly force. I then follow that sentence up by saying, never do we rise to the occasion, we fall to the level of our training. So, you're not about to become John Wick in that high pressure situation. You're about to become the most you've ever been. So, if you're not on the range twice a week shooting 6-inch groupings from whatever distance, don't take the shot. Just call the police, point blank. You don't have to be a superhero because you are responsible for everything that leaves the muzzle of your firearm. So, even if you see, kidnapping going on or sexual battery going on, something like that, maybe if you don't feel confident to take the shot, don't take the shot. That's point blank. Calling the cops is doing enough in certain cases. There's an updated list on here. Aircraft piracy is also a forcible felony, which justifies using deadly force. I don't know a single person that owns an aircraft. Maybe that's not true, but they're extremely rich. I don't know that many rich people that's on that level. So, rich people write laws. Ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. So these are typically what you want to measure using deadly force against. If somebody is 20 plus yards away, they don't really have, unless they have a firearm or a crossbow, something that can reach you at distance and, shoot a projectile long distances at high velocity, they don't have the ability to hurt you. So you can't justify pulling your firearm out against them, opportunity. If they have a baseball bat at 15 yards, they don't have the opportunity to hurt you no matter how much they're yelling death slurs at you. Jeopardy. If they're 15 yards away with the baseball bat, maybe you can argue you thought your life was in jeopardy, but they don't have the opportunity or ability to hurt you, so deadly force for you probably isn't justified, again, because they don't have anything at distance. Now, if they're within 10 yards, 10 yards is your reactionary gap, so you can argue if they have a baseball bat, if they have a knife, at 10 yards, you can argue that yes, they had the ability and the opportunity to kill or cripple me, because they had a knife within 10 yards. That's plenty of time, or that's close to distance where they can close that and get a stab at you or whatever. Protection of property. I get this all the time. So the reason you probably don't know your firearm laws, and it's not on you, or the reason you might be confused about it, is honestly because most news media and other outlets base firearm laws generally off movies in Hollywood, I think. Because every state has their own individual firearm laws. So this is one you probably heard. Get off my property. That's not a thing here in Florida. You're going to jail because discharging a firearm is considered deadly force. And in Florida, interfering with property or trespassing of property, deadly force is not justified. So I also heard about that one lady, Kim, I think that's her name, who got 10 years, but she did 8 for shooting a warning shot. And she would have been justified in actually shooting the person and getting away with it if she would have actually shot them. But pointing it up in the air, she broke the law. So if somebody's coming across your yard, they're cutting across your property, if your kids aren't out there, if family members aren't out there and they don't pose a risk to anybody, they're just trespassing, just cutting across, let it go, call the police and let the police do what they're trained to do. I wouldn't recommend you going out there because that's going to put you in a position where you might have to use the firearm and use deadly force, and that's going to get harder to articulate because you didn't have to go outside. But yeah, in terms of property, it's not Texas. You can't defend property here. In Texas, you can defend property. So, carjacking. In Texas, if they're trying to steal your car, you could shoot them. You don't have to be in it. But for us, it has to be carjacking, and you have to be inside the car to be carjacked. So the only time you can pull your firearm to protect your car in Florida State is if you were inside it. Texas, you don't have to be inside it. So, like I said, I think the media does a bad job at specifying, gun topics because while many states have similar laws, no two states have exactly the same laws. So slight changes in verbiage will change a whole. Verbiage can change from state to state, and little changes might make a whole difference in the way a state writes their law. So, arson. If somebody's setting fire to your property, so if they're interfering with your property, trespassing on it, and they light something on fire, you can shoot at them because you can argue fire spreads so quickly that life can be in danger. You see California wildfires spread and take out acres. So if they light something on fire on your property, go ahead and handle that one appropriately. Castle doctrine. So what castle doctrine is saying is you're the king or queen of your castle, and what your castle is your dwelling. Your dwelling in Florida State is your house or car while you are inside of it. That is why carjacking, again, you can protect yourself with deadly force from a carjacking because it is considered your dwelling. Same thing with your home. If somebody breaks in your door and they get inside the house, there is no warning that you have to give them. You can use deadly force. You can point that firearm and pull the trigger. I get the question right after of, what if they're running out the door? For me, if you enter the house, you're not leaving the house. I'm at the range at least 4 times a week. I'm a pretty good shot. Even if you're running out, if you make it out the door, God bless your legs and your body because it just wasn't your time. But if not, it just wasn't your time. It's that simple. There's only going to be one story to tell. Granted, while he is running out, I'm not chasing him out the door. So in Florida, you cannot chase it. I'm not running after you. Bullets move faster than I do. So I'm going to pop that way. And if I get him on the way out, then hey, I get him because it takes no time for you to be running that way. Turn around and now you're going this way. Or you could be running this way and pointing a firearm that way. So I'm an aim man, front sight on him, pull the trigger. If he drops, that's the story. And if not, God bless. Third person property. If you shoot them at Walmart, shoot them at your friend's house. In Florida State, like I said, we can protect life, but not property. So if I'm at, my friend's house, it's not my castle. Castle doctrine doesn't protect me that way. It's his castle. I can give my firearm to him in his castle and let him take care of the threat. but I can't pull my firearm out immediately and just start shooting unless I can articulate life is in danger. So now if they break in and I see that they have a firearm, life is in danger, they have a firearm. If they break in, they have a knife, and they immediately get somebody in the chokehold, I can then try to aim in, life is in danger. If they just break in the window and they're in the house, I can't do anything because it's not my property. Walmart, same thing. If life is in danger, if somebody has a firearm, they're trying to stab somebody, I can use my firearm because I see life in danger. If not, can't do it. In Florida, when it comes to protection of animals, you can shoot a dog if he's attacking your dog, your livestock, or another person. That's the only animal you can't shoot. You're not allowed to shoot any other animals in Florida state. Granted, they're really just trying to stop people in Apopka from shooting 10-foot gators at 20 yards with their rifle. And then that bullet going through the gators, skipping off the ground and hitting their neighbor. Because Florida man is a real thing. So if you get attacked by a bear, coyote, 10-foot gator in Florida, don't be worried about the Florida statute and going to jail. Your life is in danger. You can articulate that, and Florida values life over everything, really. So kill the animal if it's attacking you. This would probably be the last. I'll probably do the last two here. This is the Florida stand your ground. So stand your ground is super controversial for us here in Florida because of Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. But the only reason it's controversial is because Florida is the only state that does it bad. So 17 other states do stand your ground. They just do it well. The contrast to pain of a state that does it well is Arizona. So Arizona has 327 billets that govern their stand your ground. And what that means is they have 327 descriptions that say you can stand your ground is valid in this case, in this case, in this case. Stand your ground is not valid in this case, this case, this case. So they have 327 different cases and perspectives that stand your ground with no duty to retreat is valid. Here in Florida, we only have 9. Yes, I said it. 327 compared to 9. And that's why George Zimmerman was able to get away with murder, essentially. Because if you would have took him, the same situation, and put it in Arizona where they have all the provisions, he goes down for manslaughter. Because if a public safety official in Arizona asks you not to follow an individual you didn't see directly commit a forcible felony we mentioned, and they die in your presence, you go to jail for first-degree manslaughter, and that's an automatic 10 years. So, again, Florida state's not the issue, or stand your ground is not the issue. Florida state is the issue, and the way Florida state writes their stand your ground law. That's my opinion. I like stand your ground because I see the alternative, which is stand your ground with a duty to retreat. And if you're from up north, New Jersey, those New England states, you probably know what I mean. Duty to retreat is if you have an exit while somebody's attacking you, you are forced to go through that exit. You cannot protect your life because you have an option to retreat. If your back is against the wall, that is the only time you can protect yourself in a duty to retreat state. Your back has to be against the wall in order for you to use deadly force to protect your life. And I don't think that should be the case. In Florida, as long as you have a right to be there and you're not breaking any laws, you have a right to stand your ground and protect your life against any threat that is trying to harm it. In New Jersey, that's not the case, but Florida does need more provisions under your stand your ground law. The last slide I'll do is the criminal system versus the civil system. We bring this slide up just to say, just because you think you can get away with murder and get away with not doing time, doesn't mean you can't be sued civilly for wrongful death, and that might be worse than, doing some time. The comparison we say is look at O.J. Simpson. The civil suit wrecked his whole life. He was never the same afterwards. So yeah, just because you think, people will take a class with us, don't think because I taught you to shoot that, you can go take somebody out and get away with it with time and think I'm going to help out because you're going to get a voicemail. I don't know you. Listen, not on my watch. So criminal system, they want time. Civil system, they want money. Don't think that just because you beat the criminal system that civil system ain't going to be a monkey on your back too. But I don't really have to. I'll talk about state reciprocity, and I'll put the reciprocity map up here. So in Florida state, you get the second most reciprocity in the whole country. The other state that beats us is Utah. The reason you get so much reciprocity in Florida and Utah It's because you're required to do your concealed weapons class with a licensed firearm instructor. So where everybody talks about the NRA is writing laws, this is one of the laws the NRA wrote, and this is how they position the business side of it into the law, which can be, you can argue controversy with it. But this is the only place I've seen them in Florida statute is they require that you take the concealed weapons license with a licensed firearm instructor, so you go through a firearm safety course. If you go to a place like Georgia, all you have to do is just apply, and they will give you your concealed weapons license, and then you can just go buy a firearm. While in Florida, you can buy a firearm without your concealed weapons license too. You can't become licensed to actually carry it concealed until you take the class with a licensed firearm instructor and go through a firearm safety course. But yeah, these are all the states. So the purple states, or whatever color states that the majority are for Florida, these are all the states that you can carry to legally. Any of the non-red states they don't respect the non-residence license. So like a place, Georgia. A Georgia resident can come take my concealed weapons class in person. Florida's a shall issue state, so we will give them a license, but it'll be a non-residence license since they don't live here. Then they'll have to go back up to Georgia, apply for that, and they'll get the non-residence license. But some states don't like that because they think you're beating the system, so they don't respect it. Then of course the red states don't respect either license. The West Coast, that mid-north state, and then those upper New England states, they don't really like us like that. They say you got to go through their own process if you want a firearm there, and it's usually impossible in states like New Jersey and California to get concealed weapons license. Yeah, I'll go in this little bit. So just because a state respects our concealed weapons license, you have to abide by their state laws. Just a quick one, like in Oklahoma, you can't open carry or conceal carry anything larger than a 45 cal. So if you carry a 10 millimeter, you're breaking the law there. That's a random law that they have there that you would never guess. So in their state, respect their laws. I'll make videos here about every other state. So when you do travel, you just have to watch my video and you will know how to be safe and carry a firearm in that state. This is where I'm going to end this. This is the Florida Concealed Weapons class. This is exactly what I go over in my classes. The only difference is you won't be getting the actual certificate of completion to book the actual or to actually get your Florida Concealed Weapons license. That you will have to book the class with me in person. It's $75. The link to my calendar in the class is below. Go ahead, book that. I run it on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday at 4 p.m. and a couple days during the week. If you don't see a link or a day that you like, you can reach out to me and we can try to work something out. But yeah, I hope this video helped. If you need a reminder, you can go on TikTok as well, because I've already done pretty much all of this on TikTok in shorter clips. So it works there a little bit better if you just want this in a more condensed version, because these videos are probably 15 minutes long. So I thank you guys. There'll be a lot more coming. I'm trying to really start to push with this. I'm finding my groove in terms of where I'm trying to get to next with this thing. I think YouTube is the next beast I got to get to. I've been on TikTok for a year now. It's time to re-tackle the YouTube beast. So without further ado, I thank y'all for watching. I thank y'all for supporting, and I'll see y'all on the next video.